Hi everyone, welcome back to Level Up with Dawn. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about how I bought an apartment for free. And it sounds so far-fetched, but when I actually do the maths, I paid no money at all for this. And as I own the property and I'm getting rent from it, it completely covers itself. So let me start from the beginning. I was looking for an apartment and I was looking at a lot of old buildings, old in the sense that I'm not going to be the first owner, and then I was also looking at developments. So I found one development, and like a lot of developments, they pay for your legal fees, right? So that's key in this, okay? You need a new development where there's not going to be any transfer fees that you pay. Possibly they pay your legal fees as well, like the bond registration fees and the transfer fees. And then also, um, a lot, but the thing that comes with these uh, developments is the fact that a lot of them require a deposit from you, right? So I see this development, I see this apartment, I really like it, and so I wanna, you know, do the thing and like sign the contract. So I signed the contract, but there's one very distinct thing about this apartment that I have not seen with any other apartment. And I think that's probably the sole reason why I can say I got this apartment for free, because it already had a tenant. So this developer, what they do is they build, right? But they also have a rental management arm. And this rental management arm rents out the properties that they've built until they've sold it, which is so smart, because even if you're not going to get the cash flow from selling the building you just built, you're at least still getting rent until someone comes and buys it from you. So in all essences, you're covered, right? So there was a tenant in the apartment that I wanted. There was a tenant, but also they use this as a way to they use it as a way to entice you to come and buy. So they would say like, okay, we have these certain apartments that already have tenants, we have these ones which don't, but we'll show you the standard ones so that you can see the sizing and all of that. And then if you want to buy, you can choose if you want to buy one with a tenant in place or not. Price doesn't change if you choose to buy one with a tenant in place. So obviously I chose to buy one with a tenant in place. Also, on top of that, at the time they were running a promotion. I don't know if sales were going slow or whatever, but this, so also just keep in mind with timing, this was before the first lockdown happened. So they're running a special where it was 200,000 rand off. So the original price was 1.12, and so they reduced it to 920. So I'm like, okay, cool. Also keep in mind the interest rates at that time were still normal economy interest rates. Well, normal for South Africa. And so it made sense. There's a tenant in there, like maybe for a few years I won't be able to cover the bond completely, but that's fine because I'm getting a tenant from day one, right? So yeah, I signed the forms and all of that, and then you need to put down a deposit. So a lot of them, I know, like Bullone Properties ask for about like 20,000. There's others which ask for more. There's others which just ask for like 2,500. I've had one which asked for 2,500 rand. So they asked for 20,000 rand. Okay, and I mean, at that time, I was like, okay, cool. This year, I'm trying to ramp things up when it comes to property, and I don't want to give away 20,000 rand just like that. I mean, also, let's keep in mind, it's not easy to get 20,000 rand, okay? I'm not, so it's like, on top of me not wanting to give it away, like, I still have to work to actually get that money. Like, I have to hlanganisa things or arrange. I need to arrange things. I'm like, okay, cool. So you want 20,000. The good thing is though that the legals didn't require me to pay the 20,000 immediately. um I think it needed to be paid probably, I think, 7 days into, or something to that effect, right? But then lockdown happened. So lockdown happens, and so now it's like, okay, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what we can do, what we can't do. So it was just frozen. Everything was just frozen. I have not paid my 20,000 rand, but I have signed a offer to purchase. I cannot apply for a loan because, like, those specific departments were not operating, because I mean it was level 5. Well, it was just lockdown. They hadn't had any levels at that time. Cool. Then we transition, and then after a few, I think probably after 2 months or so, or 6 weeks, I can't remember, then deeds office opens, and then with that you can start applying for loans and those kind of things. So I applied for this loan, but I was like, luckily I had the time to think about this and to strategize about this. And I think I said in one of my videos where I had to pay where um I'm gonna need to pay a deposit, but if I can, I'm not gonna pay it. And I was talking about this apartment. So it's 920. They require a 20,000 deposit, and that would have gone to reducing the actual bond amount to 900,000, right? And but I was like, nah, I don't wanna part with that cash. I mean, we in uncertain times. So when I applied for the loan, and luckily I work with the most amazing loan specialist in the world, and I will die on that hill. She is the most amazing, like, you can't tell me anything. Like, she's the best, period. And so I went to her and I said, listen, here's the OTP. I need a loan, but I said I need a loan for 920, right? And I know she works fast. So I knew she would be able to get me a yes or a no before I need to pay that money, right? So I said I need a loan for 920, and I got it. I think it was within 48 to 72 hours I got my yes. And then they forward that yes to the developer. So now, because the developer knows that I've got that loan for 920, they no longer require me to pay the 20,000 rand deposit. Okay, so that's number one. How, where I needed to pay cash flows, I don't. So now we have loan secured, right? We have the tenant in place already, like contract signed. Also, when my property actually registered that month, they also re-signed for another 12 months, which is awesome. And so yeah, I have a tenant in place, I have the loan in place, um and also they're paying all of the lawyers' fees. So literally, bond lawyers didn't have to pay anything, transfer lawyers didn't have to pay anything. I just came in and signed and then left. And the only thing I had to pay was for, it's like, I think it's called postage and petties, and it's 2,000 rand, right? So yes, now I'm sure you're thinking, oh, so you didn't get it for free. No, but listen, so this was registered on the 20th of the month, right? So there's 30 days, 20th of the month, I don't know, it's like probably a third. So for a third of that month, I own that property, but that tenant paid rent to that rental management company, right? So when the property registered, and it registered on the 20th of that month, and then the next month is a completely new lease for 12 months with that same tenant, but now it's with me. All of those revenues are rightfully mine. Then, and like, I signed all of those documents and stuff, which is great because it's like they already a rental management property, which is another thing. Oh, guys, so it's just, yeah. So um with rental management companies, they normally charge you for finding the tenant, and then they start charging you a percentage monthly, right? But they couldn't rightfully charge me for finding a tenant because they didn't like have to take the time out to put up a listing, see people, do credit checks. No, this was an already existing tenant and they just wanted to renew the lease. So that lump sum, which is normally like 1 month's rent, didn't have to pay. Awesome. And so yeah, so now we in the new month, those rental monies are mine. They paying their money to me, but then the money that they're supposed to pay, I received in my bank account, but it was a lot bigger than I expected, right? And then I realized it's because they owed me those 10 days of rent where I legally owned the apartment. So, and those 10 days covered the postage and petties that I took out of my own pocket, like in the end of the whole process. So I got this apartment for free, dude. And then on top of that, because remember I said the bond could not completely, oh dude, I'm like so excited I can't even speak properly. So remember I said the rent could not completely cover the bond, but then during this whole time period, the MPC was like slashing rates, right? So now literally everything, the rent covers everything. It covers the levies, it covers the rates, it covers even, like even though they're taking a fee from me for managing the property, it's fine. It covers the bond. Like I literally got this apartment for free. I literally got this apartment for free. And I wish I could have done another one, but at the same time, it's like, ugh, don't be greedy. So I wanted to come on here and I wanted to tell you guys about this because anyone can do this. All you need is to have the credit to be granted a loan. And then if there's already a tenant in place, like finished, you know? Oh, that was such a good deal. That was such a good deal. And I wasn't even looking for it. I stumbled upon it and I didn't expect these metrics to work out the way they did. But literally I'm nothing out of pocket for me. And the thing that was out of pocket, I got paid back because I was legally owed that money. Um and I mean it's fair for me to tell you. So the company that I'm talking about is RAND, and so now um just to put you up on game, look out for their properties. They have a lot of developments coming soon. This is not an ad, okay? I mean, look at my subscriber count. It's not an ad. So um the nice thing about RentProp is that they do developments, but they're also a rental management company. And so they actually leveraging those arms to help their business, but then it ends up helping your real estate business if you're looking for investments, because they actually put tenants in their apartments while waiting to get a buyer, which is great. And you can just take over that lease. So look out for their properties, look out for their developments. There's quite a few coming up. um yeah, it's just, it's, if you want the most, honestly, it's probably the most seamless experience I've ever had, especially with like a developer. So I highly recommend them. I hope you enjoyed this video. If there is any questions that you have, please leave them in the comments below. Let me know if you have ever bought a property from a developer before and what your experience was. And if you'd like to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.